everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I know I was trying to do video every Friday, but this past Friday, I was on the road with my daughter on a road trip. So it just didn't work out to be able to get it all put together. But here I am, it's Tuesday, it is May 18th already. Over the weekend, I ended up trying to stick to plan, but as you know, it's like really hard to do sometimes when you're on the road. So I did the best I could. I ended up coming back up a pound and a half, hoping that was mostly water weight and that I can salvage this week. So that's what the point is this week. And even though I'm trying to salvage, I still have some really good stuff that I have planned for meals. So I'm going to show you what I've got for today. I'm going to do crush burgers for lunch for me and my husband. Crush burgers, if you don't know what they are, it's just taking a bunch of stuff and putting it in your burger before you make it a burger. It's not really rocket science. But I already did that. So what I did was I put in baby Bella mushrooms. I just chopped them up fairly fine so that they would get malleable in there. I did blue cheese, so blue cheese crumbles. I only use enough so that it's 2 points. It's one of my favorites. So I budget for it, but you could easily leave out any of these items if you don't like them. But the mushrooms are free and they bulk it up, so that's why I use those. And then I put a little bit of chopped black label bacon crumbles in there too. Again, I just use enough for a point, not even, but I just count it as a point just to be safe. And then when they're done, I'm going to use my light buns, light Italian. These are 2 points for the whole thing. And I'm also gonna put a fried egg on there because I'm feeling extra like trying it today. And then for the top, I made sure to dice up tomatoes and raw onions. You could certainly do like fry the onions or something too, whatever your taste is. And then on the side, I am making, oh, hopefully you can see it without me spilling. Nope, you can't. Hang on, I'll have to do it another way. I'm making corn on the cob, but you gotta see it because it looks so good. And corn on the cob. So here's everything I got going. There's a little pan for my egg. There's my crushed burgers. And here's my, sorry, hopefully no one got dizzy doing all that. So that is what I'm doing today. And then let's see, yeah, I think that's it. And then I'm also having a dessert. So for dessert, I'm gonna do strawberries with a like a little sponge cake, sort of like a sugar-free sponge cake with Cool Whip on top. And that whole thing is gonna be about 4 points. So my lunch today is going to end up being the burgers with everything in it, the way I portioned them out. They'll be about 5 points a burger, not quite. That's including the bun. And then the corn is going to be nothing because I'm going to use butter spray. And then I'm going to use a little bit of ranch on top of mine. So when you see the picture afterwards of it plated, that's what that white powder is going to be. And then, of course, I'm going to fry my egg and put that on top too. So it's going to be quite a thing. And then tonight, I'm going to make spaghetti with bulking up the sauce with a bunch of veggies. Real pasta. Anyway, so that's what my diet will be for today. So more to come, but enjoy the plated version. Welcome back to my channel. So I am now working on dinner. For dinner tonight, we are going to do pasta. So I'm going to do ziti, regular, actual pasta, ziti pasta. So I just use the Walmart brand because that's the company we have that delivers our groceries. I am right now, you know my favorite mix, the stoplight peppers. So I am mixing up the stoplight peppers in my sauce. I already have my meat has been browning for a few minutes, so it's getting to be where it's close to ready. for me to add the sauce, but I mean, it's mostly browned, so that's why I'm adding all my my other veggies in. Also already added just a whole mess of mushrooms as well, just the baby Bella. So it's the same ones that I used for lunch today for our crush burgers, but I of course put them in whole for my pasta sauce. So I like, with my pasta sauce, I like to add a bunch of vegetables in there just because it really bulks it up. They're zero, and to be honest, like, the only problem with it is, you know, picky eater kids that want to pick them out, but then more for me. I just tell them to put it on me and my husband's plate and we're good to go there. So anyway, so we, like, I think I've told you before, we like to have these stoplight peppers kind of already pre-cut up a little bit, but then we just add a bunch of them into whatever we're cooking for the most part. So we like to cook just about everything with it, from salads to, you know, pasta sauces obviously, and whatever else runs across our plate. So I am getting that put together now. I think I have enough of the veggies in there, so just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I've got all my browned meat, mushrooms. I did put onions in there when I started to brown my meat as well. So there's the full mushroom, or the sliced mushrooms, onions, stoplight peppers, and that's it. And the beef that I use is the same beef I always use, which is the 96% fat free. I like beef, it's kind of my preference. I don't mind the fat-free turkey and having it for free too, but after about 2 months in to Weight Watchers, I was like so sick of it because it's not my favorite ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever. None of that is like really my favorite, and so I thought, you know, kind of had a little come to Jesus, and I'm like, you know, I like beef. I'm gonna just stick with it, especially right now. I'll get creative sometimes and I'll mix like the fat-free ground turkey with 96% fat-free beef, just to kind of make something a little healthier, I guess, or add less points or whatever. If I've had a high pointed day, I'll do some little trickery like that. So anyway, so now my sauce is, I'm ready to put my sauce in. I actually already had it out so that I could use it in my thing tonight. So it's just in a little container. But here is the sauce that I'm using. So it's garlic, Hunt's garlic and herb. It's got a lot less points in general than some of the other ones. So that's why I kind of like to use this one. So I've got 2 of them. Sometimes I pre-portion them out so that I know exactly how many points I'm going to be using, which there's not a lot in these, so it's not like I'm super nervous about that, but it also is kind of nice that I can at least have it portioned out before I get going, and then I'm not like fooling myself on how many points I am using for something. But today, after coming off a weekend where I had used a lot of extra points, because I think I mentioned earlier I was out of town with my youngest daughter. We went back to my hometown, which is on the Canadian border in Minnesota. It's a small town called Warroad, Minnesota. So we were there only for a couple hours. We stayed in a neighboring town because the neighboring town has a hotel with a pool that was open. So we stayed in a little town called Roseau, Minnesota. And the drive was super long, but anyway, so because of being out of town, I of course made some dietary changes that I normally wouldn't have made. Did a few things that maybe weren't necessarily something that was like on plan as much as I would have wanted. So anyway, Yeah, so now I was trying to come off that hump of where I had Dairy Queen 2 different times, like, and of course I tried to like order Blizzard, but only eat a third of it, you know, like that sort of thing. And for those of you, hopefully everyone has Dairy Queens. I think most people do, but you never know. It used to be just a small town thing, but I think they're kind of everywhere now. So anyway, so now I'm trying to come off the hump of, you know, when you go and you eat, you indulge, I guess, not eat badly, just indulge a little more than you normally would. It takes a few minutes to kind of get back into eating well again and getting into that habit and being where you're, you know, all in it again. So it didn't take me long, because I even told, so we went and saw my best friend and her niece, Melissa and Mo, and our little girls, Mo and Frankie, are best friends, and then Melissa, who's Mo's aunt, is my best friend from high school. So anyway, or one of them, I had a few, but she was one of my nearest and dearest. So anyway, so we of course got a little crazy, and then it's hard to get back on plan after that. Anyway, so for tonight, everything is basically ready for the actual dinner itself. So I'm just gonna lean you down here. So we did the ziti, I did the pasta sauce. I'm gonna let that simmer for a little bit, but while I do that, I am going to show you my messy background. I've got my office here because I think, so I'm a nurse and I work from home a little bit. I have kind of a unique nursing position where I can work from home a little bit right now, not always, but I'm usually in hospitals following some of their critical ill patients. But for some of it right now, of course, with the pandemic, I am at home. So I'm also going to make our little dessert. So I'm gonna get everything ready for that, and then I will start again. Okay, I'm back with our dessert that I'm gonna do today. I was gonna have it for lunch, then I was like, I think I'm just gonna wait, because I think the kids will get a kick out of it, because we haven't made these yet, but I have seen them around, and I did the points the other day, and I was like, we are so doing that this week. It looked so good, and of course, coming off of my weekend where I had a little extra sugar. I'm not a sugar person, I'm more of like a meat and potatoes hearty person, but I keep seeing these, and they are the sugar-free vanilla dessert shells. I know that they're pretty popular, but I can never find that, like the Pizzelle cookies. I'm sure they're somewhere, but I get my groceries delivered, and the store I get them delivered from doesn't have them, so I'm like trying to find things that my store has that we can get creative with. So this is one of them. So anyway, so super easy. You're not gonna find an easier dessert, I don't think, anywhere, unless it's just unwrapping a some kind of candy bar that is magically low points. But I'm gonna use the sugar-free whipped cream. I'm gonna shake it up. Put that on. So I'm not gonna measure this because it's pretty low anyway. 2 tablespoons is, I think, a point. I'll have to double check after the video, but I'll let you know in the end how many points we all went with. But then guys, I'm gonna berry it up. Like, I have so many berries that I have blueberries that I've already washed, raspberries, and my strawberries. So and I also have like a sugar-free like cherry pie filling, but I think I'm gonna skip that. I was like, of course, when I was ordering it, we had our grocery delivery happen this morning, and you can order until, like, and add to the order until it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. And I couldn't sleep last night. So it was actually like I was just up ordering extra things that I thought might be good for the week. So one of them was, of course, finding some extra special desserts that we might be able to indulge in a little bit this week. So anyway, so guys, there, put as much fruits and berries as you want. You can barely see the cake because there's just a little bit. The cake that this sugar-free one is 3 points. The Cool Whip, I'll be generous, I'll give it a point, but it's the sugar-free one, so it's probably not even that. But I'm gonna give it anyway, just to be safe. So I'm trying to be safe this week. And then the berries are nothing. So you guys, like, this is a 4-point dessert. I mean, you just like can't go wrong. It's gonna be so good. Anyway, so I am going to, I'll show pictures of them both plated right now. Tonight, I am gonna have some points left. So with my pasta, just to recover that, I'm having a cup's worth of the ziti. So that's 5 points for me for this particular brand. The sauce is gonna end up being, a cup's worth is gonna be about 3 points because of the hamburger is gonna be, a half a cup of the sauce is 1, the hamburger is gonna be about 2 per serving. So that's gonna be 3, and then the pasta is 5, so then I've got 8 for dinner. And then my dessert is going to be, so 8 plus 4 is 12, so 12. And then for lunch, with my corn and my crush burger, that ended up being 5. So then 17 points I've had. I'm allowed 27 right now. So I've got 10 points for tonight. Oh no, and then I had 1 for coffee this morning. So I've got 9 points tonight. So I've decided that since, you know, I love a little meal before I go to bed, but again, I'm not a big breakfast eater, but I really eat late. So before bed, I got some turkey dogs that I'm going to make those, 1 or 2. So I've got some buns, like you can find your low carb or wheat buns. So we just have regular wheat buns and they're 3 a piece. So really the hot dogs are 2 a piece, buns are 3 a piece, so that's 5 each. So really I could have 1 or 2 or 1.5 or something as my late night snack. So why a turkey dog sounded like the thing I had to have tonight, but you guys know that just is how it goes. Anyway, I'm also going to set you guys up with a tour of my house because people wanted to see it. It's a little clumsy, a little messy, but I'm going to make it a separate video so that whoever wanted to just see that part can just see that part. Just look, Anita K, tour of my house. I think it'll be on my channel. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and I will show you the plated versions, the photos of, won't be showing you the hot dogs. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go to bed right after we eat them, but you can imagine a couple of buns and a couple of turkey hot dogs. I use the Jenny O kind, whatever your local turkey dog is. Just make sure you check them before you buy them because sometimes they are like 5 points and you might as well have a regular beef one at that point. Anyway, thanks so much for joining and enjoy the pictures, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Any tips or ideas you have for me, any meals you want to see made or whatever, I am game. I'm kind of a wild card, so just let me know. Thank you. Welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't before, and always feel free to comment because I love to read them. I love to know what it is that kind of content you'd like to see. I got some good feedback from my last video, so I want to make sure that I'm accommodating that as well. So one of them was to show everything plated. What a great idea. I know I love to see things plated too. I actually like to watch people cook them too, but I know that's not for everyone. So I am going to get started. I'm gonna do the same kind of thing that I did last time, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the plated finished version as well. So yeah, so thanks and let's get going. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so I did my breakfast. So what I did today for breakfast was I wanted to make a breakfast sandwich. And so I made it with eggs, ham, avocado, and my favorite toast. So I'll go through and show you those ingredients that I used. So the first thing I used was my bread. I used Village Hearth Light Italian. And then once it was out of the toaster, I used some butter spray because I don't like my bread dry. And that's 0. The bread is like 1 per slice. They say for 2 slices, it should be 3. What I do is I cut off 1 little piece of the crust because if it's 1 7/8, it's 3 points. And you know your girl, I need all my points. So I do that. One thing to keep myself with my omelets. So to save time, I'm really a weirdo. I use a bowl and put 2 eggs in a bowl, mix it up with some of my pre-cut veggies. So I like to usually I do different colored, like the stoplight peppers with onions in a bowl. And then we just have these, like my whole family loves them. We just have it around so that it's available at hand, already chopped. We do it like twice a week and usually go through all of it within that. So we put it in like pasta sauces, we put it in any kind of like casserole or whatever we're making, on top of potatoes. Like we use a ton of that veggie mix and it just bulks it up with some 0 point stuff. So anyway, so I do my eggs. 2 eggs is what I use. Just they're free, and I'm like, your girl needs a heavy breakfast some mornings. This morning is just one of those mornings. We've all been there. I also like to keep spinach. So leafy spinach I keep around, and I kind of rip it up and put that in my eggs, and along with the peppers. And then I put it in the microwave, and it comes out as like a little yummy kind of a frittata kind of thing. It's the microwave. It's like a minute. For 2 eggs, it takes like a minute and a half probably to cook. Sometimes you have to go in there and stir it, and then, so I would just say stir it when it's like halfway through, and then when it's done, it'll come out as this nice little circle thing for your bread. Anyway, and then there's my toast. And then I love avocado. I usually get frozen avocado. I already put the bag away so that it didn't go bad, but I get frozen avocado. It's frozen in little tiny squares. I put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds because if I get fresh avocado, you know what I don't eat that week? Any avocado. Come on, they always go bad. So I get the frozen, heat it up just a little bit, avocado on it, so good, and weigh that stuff. Once it is defrosted, make sure you put it on your little scale and you weigh it because you're gonna get more avocado. This is 1 point, you guys. 1 point of avocado because I weighed it after, and make sure you defrost it first because otherwise you'll get that, that frozen weight, which is a little bit higher. And then I also use on my sandwich Boar's Head Tavern ham. So I use 2 or 3 ounces for 1 point. It's really not bad. So anyway, so it's kind of empty, but I'm gonna pick it up, my hands are clean. I heat it up in the microwave because I want it to be kind of hot on my sandwich. And then I also put a slice of my fave, my new fave. I know it's super processed, but whatever. It gives me the cheese that I need without going overboard and having real cheese and then feeling like I ruined my day. So anyway, guys, here it is. Here's my breakfast, plated. Avocado, ham, a little egg omelet, little frittata thing happening. I'm gonna cut this bad boy in half, and I'm gonna cut a little bit of that crust off so that my sandwich is my bread is only 2 points and not 3. So that is my breakfast. I'll also take a picture of it and I'll try and post it here. Thanks for watching. It's lunchtime, and today I decided to make one of my favorites. So I know it sounds so silly and I have to grab it really quick. Sorry. Should have been prepared, but I was not. So today we're going to have, I really like meatless options. So for lunch, I am going to have one of my favorites, which is Morningstar corn dogs. So they are, of course, meatless, and they're the veggie ones. So I just put them in the air fryer, and they're $5 a piece. So to me, I love them. The kids actually really love them too. So they're a little more pricey, higher price point. I think they end up being like, you get 4 for like $6. So it's a little bit higher than like your standard corn dog that you buy at a store, but I think it's worth it. And then I'll have it with just a tablespoon of sugar-free Heinz ketchup. And then I'm gonna pair it today with a really yummy salad. So this has romaine lettuce, my pepper mix that I showed you from breakfast. It has a little bit of blue cheese. I measured it out in grams so that it was only 1 point. And then fresh strawberries. I know fruit and salad is not for everyone. It's usually not for me either, but it just kind of sounds really good today. So I'm gonna have that. And then I have Olive Garden light Italian dressing on there that I just picked up at, I think Walmart, or in my local area. We have like Lund's and Cub and all that. So it's available at just about every grocery store in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area anyway. So I use the light. I use 1 point worth. Again, I weigh it, and I weigh a lot. I know weighing is not always an option, but as I'm only 4 months in. So I'm 4 months in. I started at 261 pounds. I'm down to 231 pounds as of today. So 30 pounds as of today. And anyway, so I am still in that learning process where I am weighing everything so that once I get used to it and once I know what everything should basically weigh and what portion size actually look like, I'm weighing until I get to that point where I'm really comfortable with it. And if I ever like slip off, where I may just stop weighing at some point and then hope for the best and see what happens. And if for some reason I start gaining again, well, then at that point, I'm gonna go ahead and start weighing again, just so I can get it back in my brain. Because as you know, things like kind of slip. So anyway, that's what I'm having for breakfast, and I will show you what it's like plated as well. Enjoy, and I'll see you at dinner time. It's dinner time. It is Friday, and on Fridays I like to make things easier. It's Friday, May 7th. It's also Mother's Day weekend. And on Mother's Day weekend, I also like to make things easier on myself. So I am doing something that is kind of a family favorite and a family staple for our house. And maybe it will be for yours too. We are making make your own tortilla pizzas. So I start my pizza off with 1 carb tortilla. They're out there. If your store doesn't have this particular brand, just try find a different one. My tip for this is to, if you have an air fryer, that's how I'm doing it today, so that's how I'm going to describe it today. Spray it with a little bit of like Pam olive oil spray, and then put it in the air fryer for like 2 minutes, and then put your toppings on. That's what we like to do anyway. Then I use, for my sauce, I use Hunt's. Hunt's always, you use enough to have 0. I don't know how much it is to reach 1. I think it's like a cup is 1 or half a cup or something, but I just use like 1/4 cup or something, always 0 for that. Then I like Hawaiian pizza. So our Italian exchange student that we had a few years ago, she would call it an abomination, but so I'm using the same ham I used for my sandwich this morning for breakfast. It's Boar's Head Tavern ham, and this is 2 ounces for one, so I use 2 ounces. Then I'm using pineapple. Sorry, Raffaella from Rome, you are, I'm still on it. So there's some controversy with canned fruit, which I didn't realize, but all I do is I buy the canned fruit because I don't always know when I'm gonna use it, and I like to have it on hand. So I buy, if there's no sugar added, I'll buy that. Otherwise, I buy it, I rinse it off, I still count it as 0. You do what works best for you. This has worked just fine for me. Then I top it off with 55, this is just the Kirkland's from Costco. 55 grams of cheese is 5 points. So I like it cheesy. I find I've tried really hard to use less, and I just can't make it on any pizza with less than 5 points. Toppings are sky's the limit. So whatever you like. So we do a lot of like vegetable pizzas with a ton of veggies, or like turkey sausage or something, whatever you want. As it sits today, I have 1 for the tortilla, 1 for the ham, 0 for the sauce, 0 for the pineapple, and 5 for the cheese. So that means 7. Thanks, sorry, can't count. So 7 points, and in just a second, it's all done. So I will take a picture and post it here. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for coming along with me. So that was my 21 point meal day. So there's 21 points. I didn't feel like I was deprived at all today. I ate really, really well. So just to top it off, I had my breakfast, that was my coffee and my sandwich, and with the creamer and everything, that was 6 points. My lunch with the corn dog and the salad ended up being 8 points, and my dinner usually is more than my lunch and my breakfast, but today was a little bit odd and I ate really well all day and that my dinner ended up being 7 points. I am gonna have that a snack tonight. I'll probably have some popcorn. You use whatever you do. The popcorn that I eat, I usually eat about 3 points worth. And usually how I plan out my points is that I plan how many points I want to use for each thing. So for my snack, I only want to do 3, so I'm gonna measure out 3, and that's what I'm gonna have. Sometimes I have like some sugar-free Kool-Aid mix or something just to spice up my night. We live pretty wild when you're in your early 40s and a mother of 2 young kids. So anyway, yeah, that's my day. That's 24 points total is what my day will be. I am at a point right now where I'm allowed 28 total, and I'm at 24. So some days like this, when I have a few extra points, I have no problems rolling it over. I have a big weekend next weekend, and I have Mother's Day coming up, of course, on Sunday. So I may just roll those over and have an extra treat on Sunday or something. So anyway, that's my day. And if there's any content you want to see, or anything you'd like to see different, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. Again, this is my first rodeo trying to do any of these videos, so I'm just super grateful that anyone is even watching. So thanks. I hope it was helpful. All you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Everybody, it's Anita. So I had a request to do a video about what I eat in a day. So I always watch those videos, so it actually only makes sense that I do one, because I always watch other people's, so it's about time. Anyway, so I'm gonna do one what I eat in a day. start off with breakfast. I'm not gonna do it all at once, so this will be 3 videos in one. But for breakfast, today I'm going to do Quaker. So the fruit and cream packets are 4 points a piece. They usually keep me full, like depending on what I put in it, they usually keep me full for 3 hours probably. Sometimes I snack in between there too, let's not kid ourselves. But the only one that is 5 points is the blueberry. The other 3, strawberries, peach, and banana, are all 4 points. So you'll be able to, you know, kind of calculate that. But for breakfast today, I'm doing that. This morning, I'm having the bananas and cream. I already took it out. So I put it, all you do is you put it in the bowl. You fill the water up to that brown line in the middle, which is half a cup, so you don't have to dirty another bowl. And then I always like to add 1 or 2 servings of 0 points to every pointed food that I have. So for me, I like fruit with my oatmeal. So I am gonna do a banana, and usually I have blueberries on hand, and that's what I would usually put in, is like blueberries and bananas, no matter what flavor, but sometimes I like to match it. Like if I'm having peaches and cream, I will do peaches with it. You get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, so this morning I am going to put the water in. This only has to microwave for 1 minute, and it's easy. I don't know about you guys, but I am like, the easier the better. If it's something that I can have ready within 1.5 minutes, sold, I'm in. So the goal today is going to be easy meals. I'm gonna do all 3 meals. I may do some of my snacks too, just to kind of have an idea of like everything that I eat in a day, and not just like my 3 squares. Because I do 3 squares, and then I also do like 2 or 3 really small little snacks in between all those meals too. All right, here we go. Hi guys. Okay, so I forgot, it's about 11:45 right now. It has been about 3 hours since I had lunch. And Mike, I forgot my coffee. I use a mug about this size, probably, you know, standard tumbler size. That's about 1.5 cups of coffee. I really don't always finish it. And then I use the Premier proteins. So I use the caramel and the vanilla. I've used the chocolate too. Chocolate's not my favorite, but I really love the caramel one. Heads up and hot tip, if you are a Walmart shopper, you can get the exact same protein shakes as a Premier for less. I don't know how much less. I know that they're less because I've tried them in a pinch when I didn't have any Premier. I've tried them and they cost less. So I'm a Costco and Sam's Club card member holder. And so when they go on sale, usually after the new year at the Premier proteins, when they go on sale at Costco, I usually just pick, like this year when I started, I will pick up cases of them. And usually be good for at least 6 months or almost a year, because I use just half of a Premier protein shake, which keeps me pretty full usually, until somewhere between 9 and 11 is when I start to eat like solids, as it were. So as you saw, I had my breakfast a little bit earlier than normal. I was just hungry, and I just kind of listen to my body and when it's time to eat versus the clock. So one thing that I have been craving lately is my family really likes chili cheese dip. But you can do it with the Hormel turkey chili is what I buy, because a cup of it, or like half of a cup of it, is like maybe a point. So we buy that because we do like turkey dogs and things like that, and use that chili. But I've been craving chips with chili cheese dip, and you know, you can have 7 Tostitos scoops for 2 points. And so sometimes I'll go that route. But usually like I'll save those like chippy things for like when we have Mexican night or something like that. So today I am going to use Good Thins. These come in all kinds of different flavors. They're really good when you want like a chip sort of thing and aren't willing to justify derailing your whole day because of it. So these are, I believe it is 12 of them for 2 points. 12 or 13, somewhere in there, I can't remember. But I'm gonna do 12 for 2 points today. And then I made Hormel chili, the turkey chili. And that I made 98 grams. I weigh almost everything that I have in grams because I feel like you get more when you weigh in grams. I don't know, it just makes better sense to me because you really get what you can get. And I know, ladies, I take it to the tip top. So if 98 grams is like the chili, for example, I think like 70 grams is like 1, or 60 grams is like 1 point. And if you're gonna go up, no, I take that back, so sorry. Up to 98 grams is 1 point of the chili. I was like, I only want to use a point on it. So I will take all 98 grams. And then if I go over, then I'm going all the way to, 150 grams or whatever it is for 2 points. So that's how I operate, just because my brain is like, nope, if the data says that I can have this, I'm having this. So I chose to only get 98 grams, so I have 1 point. So I've got 2 points in the Good Thins, 1 point in chili, 1 point in Velveeta slices. Now, you would never have caught me eating this pre-Weight Watchers WW because I like things that are more whole food things, right? Love cheese. Not willing to spend 15 points a day on cheese. So I wanted something that was a little cheese, and so I put that in. It's 1 point for that. So my little, 12, 13 chip things, chili cheese dip, I've got a 4-point snack here. Now, some days, and again, it's like lunchtime, but I'm more in a snack mood, not like I don't need to have a full lunch. I do have, what time is it? Oh yeah, 11:45. So sometimes if I'm like really in a hurry and I just need something that's more substantial, I'll grab like a cup's worth of 1% cottage cheese to have with something like this, just to add a little more protein and make it more filling. And then it would be more like a lunch, and then I wouldn't eat again until like 3 o'clock or something. But anyway, I've got some things going on today that I'm just gonna have this little snack. I'm working from home, no problem. So anyway, that is my snack for lunch. We'll see what I'm gonna have. I actually don't even quite know yet. I usually plan these things out. I was gonna have tuna melts, but I don't think that I have tuna for whatever reason. I can't have tuna, so anyway. So that'll be a surprise. Anyway, I'll see you when I have lunch at like 2 o'clock. Thanks, bye. Okay, so I ended up deciding to boycott lunch today. I had those Good Thins and the chili cheese dip, and that actually kind of filled me up. So I'm good to go. It is 2:30, so, I'm sorry, it's 1:30. So it just makes the most sense that I just have one more snack if I'm not super hungry, and that happens every once in a while. So I am going to have some 1% cottage cheese for 3 points. It's just under a cup. I did it in grams just to kind of make it the 3 points that I was looking to stay under. So that'll be my lunch today is just a cup of cottage cheese. All right, thank you, and we'll see you for dinner. Tonight we're gonna have cheeseburgers on a bun with some lettuce and maybe some potatoes or french fries. All right, see you then. Hey everybody, well, it's been a long day, but it's getting close to dinner time, and I am going to get dinner started and ready before my husband and my kiddos come home. Again, I work from home, so I have this luxury. I know it's not, everyone doesn't. I don't always work from home. It's pandemic work from home. I too will be back in the needing things prepped before I go anywhere for the day kind of world. So what we're gonna have tonight is actual hamburgers. I used to make them with like 80-20 ground beef. Now I am point conscious. We only buy 96% fat-free ground beef. So it makes for a drier ground beef, but it still is a burger. I also like to do some of the meatless options, but that's not what we're gonna do today. So when I get a pound, I just break it into 4. I don't really measure that as much as I should, but I break it into 4, and 4 times 4 is going to be 16 ounces, so that's 4 burgers we'll get from it. I make them super flat, and they cook really fast that way, and then they usually fit on our buns a little bit better. I use these. They're light Italian. They have sesame seeds, like toasted sesame seeds on them. I think they're really good. They're 80 calories and 2 points, so I usually just have 1 anyway. I use the Velveeta cheese, which I showed you earlier, so 1 slice of that has 1 point, so now we're up to 3 for dinner. The hamburger, 4 ounces of 96% fat-free, is going to be 2 points. So now we're up to 5 points. So with the rest, I will end up doing cooked carrots. I love cooked carrots, so I do the baby carrots. You can do whatever kind, obviously. And then I like to season the baby carrots with some butter spray. I should probably take that out. And ranch seasoning. Ranch seasoning. If you don't have any, do yourself a solid and get some. And butter spray, just to add the flavor of butter without adding all the points. So that's what I do with my carrots. Sometimes I'll put like Kraft Parmesan cheese or something like that, and I use just enough so that it's 0 points. So, and then on the side, so now we're up to 5 points. The ranch seasoning doesn't have any of the amount I use anyway. I don't know. I've never used enough to use a point. But then little tiny bushling bell potatoes. You can just get little potatoes anywhere. Here is a hot tip. They are going to tell you that each potato is 1. If you look up baby potato, sorry, there's my air fryer going off for my potatoes and my burgers. But they're gonna tell you that each potato is 1. Lies, lies, lies. If you cook these, if you cook them, they're gonna be less grams. So I cook them and I dice them in half. I mix them with a teaspoon of olive oil, that's 1 point. This many is probably 1 or 2 points. So cook and weigh these bad boys, because you're gonna get so many more than you think you're gonna get. So like I said, I'm gonna cut these in half. I'll use just a teaspoon of olive oil, and I do measure it because this is one of those things that once you get to tablespoon, you're at 4 points already. Measure, measure, measure. If it's high pointed, I measure it like you wouldn't believe. Or if I'm cutting it close for the day, always measure. Anyway, so that's what's for dinner. Cheeseburger with the bun, 2, burger, 2, cheese, 1. Plus I'm gonna do some lettuce and onions and tomatoes, some of those free. So on blue, then that is only gonna be 6 points. No, I'm sorry. burger 2, bun 2, cheese 1. That's gonna be 5 points. So a 5-point burger, 0-point carrots, cooked carrots, and about 2 points worth of potatoes with 1 point of olive oil mixed in to kind of crisp them up. So I also use the ranch on there too. So I do the olive oil, and then I do some like salt or seasoned salt. You can use like Mexican seasoning. You can use whatever you want. I, of course, ranch, love it. I'm a Minnesota girl. It's really good. So I mix them in a bowl, cut them in half, mix them in a bowl with the olive oil, and then use like a tablespoon of ranch or maybe a little bit more, sometimes pepper as well. And they come out really crispy. That 1 teaspoon of olive oil goes a long way to make them taste like normal food. So anyway, so there is that. And then I am going to show you my dinner or not my dinner, my snack for the night. So every night, not every night, but a lot of nights, I like something to eat like right before I go to bed. I have found if I plan it and map it out, since I don't start eating until later in the day typically, I find if I plan it out, put it in within my points, then I do better. If I decide I'm gonna try and skip it tonight, guess what happens? I get my booty up at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever, laying there hungry because I had dinner at 5 o'clock or 5:30 with my family. Even if I have a snack at night, it doesn't really cut it. I have to actually have like something that's like almost like a meal. Anyway, so if I don't do this right before I go to bed, it ends up worse. So I know it's not ideal. It just is what works for me. Cheetos, mac and cheese, hot. This is the Flaming Hot. Now, the difference between the flavors is that Flaming Hot has maybe 1 ingredient less in it that makes it 1 point less. So this whole container is 6 points. Because I have the thing I have where I have to have something in my belly before I go to bed, I just plan for that 6 points. I know it's gonna happen. I just plan for it. It makes my life a lot easier. If you do the jalapeno or the regular, jalapeno is 7 points, and I think the regular is 8 points. I happen to like the spicy, so this works for me. Also, filling. If I'm out of points, like there's a day when I'm out of points because I wanted a Snickers or whatever the case is, then I will also do cooked carrots right before I go to bed. Excuse me. I will have cooked carrots with ranch and this butter spray. So it's one of the things that I usually keep in the fridge because to me, cooked carrots, like some kind of cooked vegetable at night is better than having all those sugars from fruits. So when the fruits are free, I try to have those in the morning so I can burn them off throughout the day. Yeah, so anyway, so that is what I'm doing for dinner. That is also, there's my evening snack where I have it at like 8:30 at night before I go to bed. And I try to save it for like almost right before I go to bed. Because otherwise it's a whole thing. But yeah, and then if there's something where I have used all my points, anything 0 pointed. I do boar's head, like lunch meat, like turkey or something with like a spreadable cheese on a 1 point tortilla. So you'll probably see that. I'm gonna do more of these videos so that you guys can see what I eat during the day. It's probably not for everyone. I know I have like some processed stuff that was in today's rotation. I know that's not perfect, but I'm in weight loss mode and this is working so far. So anyway, again, it is April 23rd. And as of today, I am down about 27 pounds on my weight loss journey that I started January 3rd. So the math on that is just a little about 1 to 2 pounds a week, somewhere like that. And that's kind of what I've averaged. All right, thank you. I hope you had a good day, and I hope this video was helpful at all. Remember to be kind to one another, and good luck out there. Hi everyone, Anita back again. So I'm gonna cover my first topic. I wasn't necessarily planning on doing it today, but I thought it might just be easier to have one of these topics down, one that I've had on my heart and my mind actually probably my whole life. So the first topic that I wanted to kind of cover is my weight loss journey. This is a big one. This is like one of my most vulnerable topics because it is so personal and it's so personal, and about just like everything that my journey has kind of looked like. Again, I apologize since this is my first one. I'm not very good at I'm not known for my my video skills, that's for sure, being in front of the camera, like I've said before. But I'll start from the beginning. So, it's in my family. Not that necessarily predicts what each person should, because it's in our family, but we have people who in our family who have been able to stay lean with hard work and whatever. So it is in my family. I personally noticed that I was having struggles with weight loss when I was probably about like 6 or 7. And then for me, it was like once I knew that that set me apart from other kids in the community I grew up in, that was kind of what almost made it worse. Like knowing that I was set apart from other people because of something. I think if I wouldn't have realized or wouldn't have known that, but maybe just would have like grown out of it once I got into sports or whatever. But then knowing that piece for whatever reason, made it the forbidden fruit, I guess, so to speak, was like having things that maybe weren't healthy, because the more I learned about it. Anyway, not here to try and give myself excuses either, but just as a kid, I know that on my psyche that was really tough. And then I think as I grew up a little bit, like I said, when I was like probably 7 or 8, I had who I thought was a friend of mine start chanting Thunder Thighs. I was climbing up one of those old metal slides during recess in like 1st or 2nd grade. And it was something like, it might have been more like 2nd grade, but and someone who was close to me, or I thought, got a few kids to start chanting Thunder Thighs as I was walking up the slide. And I was like, I don't know, what are they saying? And I was asking one of my friends, I can't remember who it was, but it's like, what did they say? And I slid down and they were looking at me while they were chanting it. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I went home and I had asked my older sisters what Thunder Thighs meant. And my one older sister at the time was probably 15, maybe 14 or 15. And she told me what it was. And then she asked why I was asking. And this was my sister Janelle, who also struggled with a lot of, weight concerns and from that aspect as well. So she, of course, wanted to know because the big sister in her was not probably super impressed that I would even know that at like 7 years old. So anyway, she told me what it was. And then I asked the girl the next day why she would call me that. And she said, "You're the fattest girl in school." And that was really kind of an eye-opener and tough for me. I remember spending a lot of time crying in the bathroom that day. And of course, like, yeah, that made it a lot. So, from a few aspects, like one was like, I was real cognizant of what my weight was at that point. And then, another aspect of, like being like singled out and bullied. Because at that point it felt like once that elephant in the room was like given a name, I was bullied pretty relentlessly, and I think most kids were, so I try not to make that bullying about me, but it was like I didn't have a super easy home life at the time, and then I was going to school and getting bullied, and then having to go home and feel kind of trapped. Like it all was a tough road, which, mind you, I think it's given me a lot of who I am today, and a lot of that compassion and caring for the most part, being able to advocate for myself, even when people don't like it and they think that it's that advocating for myself somehow means something terrible for them because I advocate for my family's needs and my needs and whatever, and that is inconvenient for some people, but it's given me that, and I think that is more, I personally think it's more about strength. So anyway, that aside, as I got older, I joined sports because I would watch my friends, like, at the end of the school year in like 5th and 6th grade, where they might have been a little chubbier, and then next summer they came back and they were super lean because they were outside playing and doing stuff, and I was outside playing and doing stuff. Like I grew up on a big lake called Lake of the Woods, and we'd be fishing and swimming and running around. My neighbors had 6 daughters, and so we were constantly playing with them, and up and down the streets and bicycling and biking by ourselves to the town pool. I grew up in a small town, but biking by ourselves to the pool and whatever, and always busy, but like I would notice people come back and they looked thinner. I was really, obviously paid a lot of attention to it, but they looked thinner, and then I did not, and I was like, I'm failing, like that's the feeling, is I'm failing at being aesthetically pleasing to people. And I was a little bit of a turkey too. I mean, so I was like, a lot of sass and a lot of, what. And so, it kind of made me a little rough around the edges at school. And then of course, more teasing because you are a little heavier and you are a little sassier, and that kind of, and people pick you out. So I grew a pretty thick skin and a thick coating along with that, figuratively and actually. So anyway, so there was that. So then getting into when I got to be about 20, I was single, newly single, and I decided that I wanted to work on my fitness to be skinny. That was my goal, was I want to be skinny. So, or at least not skinny, but I was like well over 200 pounds, and I wanted to be under 200 pounds. Like that has always been, for whatever reason, the goal, because when I graduated from high school, I was 210 pounds. But that's the last time I was 210 pounds, like, or below. So, like just to be super vulnerable, like that's what it was. And that, I've always made, certainly a decent dating life for myself, and I've dated some really wonderful people, nice, successful, attractive people, like it wasn't even about that, but it was just that for whatever reason, I felt like to have value, certain people, that your value goes up when the size on your jeans goes down. And why I wanted to impress or show those people that I had value is beyond me, because to be honest, I I couldn't care less. Those people now are the last people I even care about, to be honest. But when they'd say, oh, you really need to lose some weight or whatever, I was like, oh God, I gotta lose weight so that they think that I'm worth something. Because deep down inside, I want everyone to think that I'm worth something. And in the last like couple of years, I've dropped that feeling. I'm over it. Okay. Like I want people to like me for their comfort. I want them to be comfortable around me, but if they don't, it has nothing to do with me, and I've learned that. Anyway, so besides that, then I wanted to get lean when I was like 20 or under 200 pounds anyway. And I'm about, at the time I was like 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in there. And I've shrunk about an inch since then, but that's a topic for another one. Anyway, so I started working out quite a bit, twice a day. I was working for a company called Allianz, where I got like a discount on a gym membership. So I worked out actually at the stadium where a place called Lifetime Fitness, which was in the stadium where the Timberwolves played. So I thought it was so cool because the Timberwolves cheerleaders worked out right where the Pilates machine was, like next to it in the downstairs of that gym. And so I thought it was so cool. So I'd work out and I would creepily watch these cheerleaders, because that was one thing I was never really, it wasn't really something that I got the opportunity to do, but it was something that I always wanted to do. That's kind of my jam, but I was too heavy, and that's not what they look for in cheerleading. Imagine that. So I would watch them, and that was like kind of my pastime. Like I knew when they worked out, because they worked out in the evenings. And I knew that it was at like 5:30, and I got done with work at 5. So it just worked out that on my way home, and at the time I would take a bus to commute to our office, and I lived downtown, well, like essentially downtown Minneapolis, like a couple blocks outside of the zone. So I would go and watch the cheerleaders and do my stair climber. And so in the end, I ended up working out. It was like 4 months worth of fitness, like, and watching what I was eating and whatever. 4 months worth of working out from like January to April. And I was doing stair climber I'd say I worked out solid for about an hour and a half a day between the two workouts. Before work, I would go. After work, I would go again. So I was really dedicated, like the kind of time I don't necessarily have anymore. It happened since then. And then I was also like, at the time Atkins was really big, but I was like not so much following Atkins as much as I was like just watching like the level of sugars and things that I was eating. And then I lost about 50 pounds. So I was doing kind of what I would have considered, kind of like South Beach diety kind of thing. So it was more like lean meats and veggies. And then I didn't have any treats. I saved everything that I thought was a splurge on going out drinking, because I, at the time, like me and my friends were 3 nights a week, probably at a place called Liquor Lyle's in uptown Minneapolis. And yeah, it was like a lot of alcohol was kind of that was like my splurge of the week. So I wouldn't have treats. I wouldn't have like sugar or whatever, big steaks or whatever. That wasn't my jam. So anyway, so I lost 50 pounds and I was looking and feeling really good. Then stopped that after 4 months. It just wasn't sustainable to me to work out, twice a day, 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week. And then also be eating super careful and drinking like I was. It just, none of it really made a ton of sense, like for long term. So then I went on and gained a bunch of weight. And ended up having, meeting my husband, and stopped drinking, which alone was like good for me. And then had my daughter, we had our first daughter like 5 years after we met, and I had her prematurely. And one of the reasons why was my weight. And I knew at that point I needed to get it under control. So I had 2 sisters who had undergone gastric bypass. And so I looked into it. My physician, who I am very close with and has been my primary for many years, we decided that it was probably a good option for me. So in 2013, after our daughter was born, like 6 months later, I underwent gastric bypass, which I have never really told anyone, or not that many people know that about me. And I've always kept it kind of close to the chest, because I always felt like it was, I've heard people say that it's like the easy way out or whatever. I can tell you right now, it is not the easy way out. And if I could reverse it, I would, to be honest, at this point. Like, there was a couple of years where I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this sooner? And now I've had some fallout, like health concerns because of it. Like pretty intense ones that I wish I could just reverse it and be done with that phase of my life. I didn't lose as much as I thought I was going to, because it is hard work, and I clearly didn't want to necessarily do as much of the hard work. At the time I was trying, but it just wasn't my jam, apparently. Anyway, excuses under the sun, like I've got so many, but in the end, it just, I clearly wasn't like doing the hard work. Anyway, so then my weight started to creep up. And then I had another daughter who is now almost 6. She's 5.5. But anyway, I decided last year in 2 years ago, 2019, my husband and I started to do keto. So we did that, and that is not sustainable for, definitely not for us. I would say the majority of people, it is unsustainable. Plus, I'm not as big of a meat eater. I am more of a, like I'm okay with like fish and stuff, but there is something about who I am that is like not necessarily as interested in meat for a variety of reasons, for, ethical reasons, for texture reasons. Like, there's just, meat isn't necessarily like something that I'm always into. Like, occasionally I am, and but I anyway, so that's not sustainable for me. Like, I could eat eggs all day long, but I'm just like, for whatever reason, not into that texture of like most meats. Anyway, so that wasn't sustainable. I was on it for a little bit, lost a little bit of weight. It came right back on, because that's what it does when you change your lifestyle in a way that is unsustainable. It's you're at high risk for gaining it all back and then some. So then I recently, now this is 18 minutes into this, and I'm finally getting into why, like this more have been like a history of Anita and why her waistline is as many inches as it is. But in January of this year, or January of 2020 rather, I went to see Oprah Winfrey live in at the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota, with my 2 sisters. Angie and Carla. And so we went to that, and it was sponsored by WW, which is the new version of what Weight Watchers used to be. I used to like Weight Watchers. I've been to a couple meetings, to be honest. I'm not about meetings. I'm just not about that life. It was for old ladies. It was not my jam. I said what I said. I'm sorry, but it just wasn't my jam. And Oprah was talking about it. I'm the person who does really love Oprah. I know not, everybody does, but I do. I was like, gosh, and I know she's not like ultra thin. She's always struggled with her weight, and I've always likened myself to her in a way that, in that way, where I feel like just up and down and doing whatever the fad is and whatever. But I know she's in WW for a long time, and at least has been able to maintain a healthier weight, maybe not healthiest weight. Because I would say she's still probably 220 pounds or something. That's my guess. I don't really know. If anyone knows, drop it down below, because I'm sure that it's not common knowledge. But I'd say that's probably where she is. She's probably like 5'8" and 220 pounds or something. Which for her, that maybe is just like where she wants to land. And that's okay. I don't really care where anyone else wants to land. But I thought, well, I'll try it again. So I got this like discount to do it, and then 2020 pandemic happened, and I just was like, whatever. So I didn't do it, but I started in January of 2021. I have to say, I'm so impressed with it. I try not to go out and shout, services, on the rooftops when I don't know, I haven't done them long enough, or I don't quite understand it. But I will say, I don't understand how exactly it works, and I'll do more research. But I will say that it has been a game changer for both me and my husband. So I started doing it, and then he started doing keto. This is all January 3rd of 2021. So he went back to doing keto, and I decided to be on Weight Watchers. So 2 weeks in, I'm sitting there, and I had a couple of points, because they work on a point system. Each food is pointed differently based on macros, is how they figure out the points. So like the fat and calories and all that kind of figured in. So amounts of fiber, whatever. Anyway, so I had a couple of points left, and I was eating 2 Twizzlers, because Twizzlers are 1 point a piece. And at the time I was getting like 34 points to use in a day. So at the end of the day, I had 2 points left, and I was like, I'm gonna have a couple Twizzlers because I can. So I was eating Twizzlers, and he was eating a plate full of meat and cheese. And he's like, how are you? He goes, oh, so you're off your diet, or he said something to that effect. And I was like, no, this is part of it. And the first week I lost like 9 pounds, water weight, whatever. But still, I lost 9 pounds in the first week, and which is atypical. I think most people lose like 5 in the first week. But anyway, so I had lost that. And then the second week I lost a couple pounds. And ever since then, it's been anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds in a week is the most that I've really lost. And if anyone's interested in looking at what my losses look like, because you weigh in every week, I'd gladly show you. So just let me know, drop it down below or whatever, and then with your email, and I can just share it with you, or maybe I'll put it down below too. Anyway, but it's been sustainable, and it's been I don't want to say easy, because it's a challenge. You lose it slow. And there are weeks when I have gained and weeks when I haven't lost, even after working out like 4 days a week. And I'm going, what is happening? But if you stick with it, it's going to be a fairly long process, unless you're really, really strict. But that's not sustainable for me. I like to eat. I like to have wine. I like to not have anything off limits. Like I'm not about that. And in this diet, things aren't off limits. So anyway, so it's nice because I can have pizza. I just have to adjust and make my own crust a certain way, but it's still really good. I have to do a lot of swap outs, like my sour cream is now plain fat-free Greek yogurt instead of actual sour cream. Like my cheese, like I'm using mostly mozzarella because it's like a leaner or a less pointed food, like cheese for whatever reason.
Yeah, so anyway, so there's swaps that I'm making, and some days I'm like, no, I'm gonna have, 2 ounces of smoked Gouda because I want it, and I can have it. I just have to the rest of the days eat things that are like free points, like vegetables and lean meats and salads, like those on the plan that I'm on, which is called the Blue Plan. You don't even have to really account for those. I mean, obviously they're still caloric, so you need to not like gorge in them, but if those make up like the bulk of your meal and then you just add in a little cheese or whatever, you can still manage it really easily. And it takes a little learning. I will do more in-depth videos on what I eat in a day, like what that looks like in general. It's like this morning I had Quaker fruit blueberry instant oatmeal with fresh blueberries and a banana diced into it. I mean, that was at 9:30. I will be full until noon, and then I'll have I think I have like egg salad, and so I'm gonna have an egg salad sandwich with lettuce, and then something on the side. I don't know what yet. Like I might have like 5 chips or something for 3 points or whatever. Anyway, and then for dinner, like we had tater tot hot dish the other day. I just cooked the tater tots on the side, and then added in however many, because those were the most pointed things in the meal, and then just added like 6 in instead of having like 12 like I normally would. So it really is just about balance, making simple swaps, simple adjustments. And as of my weigh-in day is on Saturday, and as of last Saturday, so I started January 3rd. It is now, today's date is April 21st, 2021. So I've only been on it for just, not quite a full 4 months. And, yeah, and I have lost, over, let's see, January, February, March, April, just over 4 months, sorry. And I have lost a little over 25 pounds. It's like 26-ish, 25, 26. So creeping up on 30 pounds, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so if anyone has any questions about it, or if you want, I can send you a link for, I think there's a thing where I can send a link for like a free month or whatever if you want to try it. But anyway, so yeah, so it's worked for me. There's a lot of things that haven't worked for me. This plan, I know there's a bunch of people who don't work out. I do work out. I walk probably 50 to 70,000 steps a week, but I wouldn't have to. Like, the idea is that as long as you walk 3,000 steps a day, which is 1.5 miles, you're at the minimum. As long as you stay within your points, you should still lose just by walking 1.5 miles a day. And that you do that usually just if you work outside the home, you probably do it pretty easily. I don't, but I still, I work out on the treadmill. I walk around my house when the weather is like cold. I dance in my kitchen. I put on like trap music, like 90s hip hop, and dance. And you'd be surprised if you get one of these little puppies, or some kind of tracker. You'd be surprised at what it takes to get your heart rate up enough to be able to burn. So I have like dance parties with my kids at night. We turn on like YouTube, kid dance songs. Our current favorite is Zootopia, the Try Everything by Shakira. The girls love it. And then a song called It's Raining Tacos. It's awful music, but I'm moving and my heart rate is up. So it's actually not bad. Anyway, so, and then now my husband is doing it too, and he's lost over 30 pounds. He's had weeks where he's just completely fallen off and has gained 2 back, and then he gets back on it. And it's easy. So like if you have even a bad day or a bad week or whatever, it's not a big deal. You get back on it, and as long as you can go like, 3 weeks at a time where you're managing your points successfully, because believe it or not, but we still have dessert, we still eat cheese, we still have pizza and like once a week and whatever, like it, as long as you're making healthy swaps, it's actually pretty easy. Anyway, so it's been good for us. My husband does work out a little bit, not a ton. But we both, like, we take our girls to the YMCA to go swimming, quite a bit. Like now, like we didn't have a membership for a while because of the pandemic, but, we're just getting back to going now. We'll probably go monthly, try and get out and get active. Both have more energy now. I have pretty, significant back issues, and it still has been, fairly easy to like just walk. And so the walking, I've been able to increase. I've actually toyed around with jogging now because I've been able to increase my walking so much. Oh, and again, like I was saying, we live in Minnesota, so we have a lot of days that aren't good outdoor exercise days. So I've got that working against me where I don't really like working out outside because I like the temperature to be specific, and I'm awful first world problem girl that way, but I like to be comfortable. So I walk inside my house a lot, like in a circle around the main floor, which is so silly. Or I'll do housework and I'll set my thing to dance or whatever, because there's no housework tab, but I'll set it to dancing. And I'll dance around the house and clean and do what, like do the little like pick up or whatever. And that has worked for me. There's so much opportunity for fitness that isn't fitness that goes by fast. If I'm watching one of my favorite shows, I will just step in place or jog in place or whatever. Literally, I watched the whole Bridgerton first series jogging in place. And so if you find a show that you really are into, put it in your brain. Like I do these like things I want to do, pair it with something I have to do, which is doing some kind of some level of workout. So even if I'm just stepping in place to get my steps up for the day, then I do that. Like if I have no interest in sweating that day, I will step in place, and that's what I do. And then I'm moving, and then those steps actually add up quite a bit. Anyway, so now I just do it without even thinking about it. So I'll have a show on and I will just start stepping in place or whatever. My sister was over a few weeks ago and I'm like, sorry, I probably look like a lunatic because I was like stepping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She's like, no, I don't care. She's like, you just look like someone motivated to get your steps in. So it's not that big of a deal, and it's easier to do than you think. I don't even think about it now, and I'm like stepping, like while I'm washing dishes, when I'm in the shower, when I'm putting on my makeup, when I'm, do whatever I'm doing, just try to step from side to side or march in place while I'm doing it. You'd be surprised at how easy it is to get at least your minimum 3,000 steps, let alone working your way up to a lot more. Anyway, so that's something that I've done. I also have a treadmill downstairs and a total gym, and I like those too. Like when I'm just in the mood to just really like jog or run or go really fast, or I want to get away from the kids, or what I mean, like just not do it while the kids are here or whatever. Then I go downstairs. Our basement is like as cool as a meat locker, and so it's kind of nice to just like get down there. I can do, anyway, there's a lot I can do here, but even if you don't have a treadmill or a total gym or whatever, most of my steps are done just standing in place or whatever. Anyway, so I want to put that out there because that has been a game changer for me, to just have a light bulb go on and know that I can march in place or walk in place or walk side to side while I'm watching a show or whatever. I think that was it. So I don't know what else I wanted to talk about with that today, but if you're like on the fence or you're like kind of looking at something, give WW, which is Weight Watchers. I'll just call it WW. Give it a try because they've changed. I don't like going to meetings, and so you can just do it online. There's 2 versions. One is just a regular version. One has 360. The 360 has like a live online community, which is not my jam. I have 360, but I've learned that I don't really care for it. I just need the actual system to do the points, and I'd be fine. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it. But if anyone has any questions about it, let me know. This video is long enough, but if there's specific questions you want me to touch on, I totally will. Just drop them below, and yeah, and I can go through it. But part of this is going to, I'm hoping to have just be kind of following me along on this journey now, so that I'm on. So 4 months in, down like 26 pounds. I will keep you updated, and I'll probably like once a month let you know like where I'm at and how that month has gone and whatever. But feel free to follow along. I'll share some before and after pictures too, but probably not on this episode since I'm kind of just getting started. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and be kind to one another.